game number 1 here of a best of 1. So it all comes down to this. It's intense, it's stressful, and a spot in the quarterfinals is on the line. Go for SC2 Mondays, reward the winner with €50 and also a spot in the €600 monthly finals. That's important, it's fun, it's great, and there's a lot of money there. However, if you go out anything below the final, you get nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. I can't think of any other ways to describe this. But anyway, these two players spawning up in the top left-hand position. We have got the pink Zerg player representing Vega Squadron, Mr. JonnyREcco. And his opponent, down to the lower right, the yellow Protoss representing ATN, Monty. King Sejong Station, a cool map with rocks coming into your natural, and a gateway expand map, if ever there was one. Now, it is possible to wall this off, although it is ill-advised, if I say so myself, because while the rush distance isn't super quick, this is a big wall. No matter which way you look at this, it is large. It is very large. Walling it off is hard. You can do some funky stuff where you put like a pylon, gateway, pylon, and you get a gap there or something, but nobody got time for that. Definitely not. However, Monty, he's got time for a Nexus first, because Monty is a man who is bold and brave. He's like a bear. Monty the bear. I hope this pays off for him. Anyway, gateway coming down now. So, Nexus into gateway is a bit of a braver move. He sees that his opponent does have a hatchery on its way, and a spawning pool is already in production, so he knows JonnyREcco's build roughly. Pool into hatch, probably the way most Zergs would open up on King Sejong Station. It's the safest way to play it, just in case. It's really hard to get that initial information because the Overlord only just coming across the natural base now, so really REcco just knows that this is a very early Nexus, sees the gateway coming through, and can now realise, okay, I'm safe. I'm probably not going to die to anything. And REcco's got two main options now. He can take a quick third, which it looks like he's going to favour. Not optimal, because he did go for the spawning pool into the hatch, so a quick third base like this. Okay, to be fair, the third base is fine there. It's not a big problem. Sometimes you'll see players go for the gas first. Hatch pool is also another way you can go, but only generally going to see that if you know your opponent has 100% opened with a gateway expand. So, quick little look around here. REcco knows his Overlord's safe, so he can keep it chilling. Has he seen these two gases? No, not yet. May go and take a little gander over there and see what's going on. For the most part, though, this is going to be drone time. Drone. Interestingly, two more lings coming up. The first probe's being pushed back, being chased down, probably denying the chance for there to be a proxy pylon on the map, but the additional two lings can come and hold these side watchtowers and just grant a lot of vision all over King Sejong for REcco, just so he knows if anything's coming down. So a Zealot will get a kill. First blood, if I'm not mistaken there. Congratulations, Mr. Zealot. But yeah, the big question is, what tech is coming? Because, as every Zerg player knows, there are a multitude of two-base all-ins Protoss players can throw at you. They are all incredibly irritating. But if you know which one it is, generally speaking, it ain't too hard to stop. Stargate's on its way. Not necessarily a two-base all-in, but certainly some early aggression. Three options, all three units out of Stargate really viable from Protoss players up against Zerg early game. We could be seeing the legendary Oracle come in and try and snipe off a lot of drones. Probably the least likely, I'd say, of the three, because, hey, Queens are really annoying. Could be seeing Phoenix. That's why I reckon's most likely to come out. They've got a great amount of harassment potential, and generally we'll be seeing like 1,000 resources lost by the Zerg, and none from the Protoss player if you see Phoenix out, which we are. As long as they're controlled well, they just don't die. There's no way to kill them. The Queens are there, and they're like, shoot, and the Phoenix are just like, oh, we got shields, lol, let's go with some drones, and then fly off into the distance. A lot of drones die. It's a pain. The response from REcco should just be a fast lair into Hydralisks. It's pretty much your best option, because, ooh, whoa, what? Cut myself short. We've got a second Stargate. This has not been seen. This could be a lot of Phoenix. It could be going into Sky Toss. It could be awesome. Or it could be terrible. Those are generally the two options when you see something a bit unusual. Is they'll either be wow or oh. Generally those are the two expressions you get later on. So a lot of Phoenix can now be pumped out very quickly. We've got +1 also on its way out for ground units. This could tie into be a very large push, and with a big group of Phoenix, this push can be exceptionally powerful thanks to those lifts. You can cut out a large chunk of the army. REcco adding in the +1 melee attack, going to be reliant heavily on Zerglings now. Could be looking to grab out an infestation pit fast, go up into Hive Tech ASAP, and look for those ultras. It can go very well. But just quite an interesting thing getting the 1-1 melee out. So many Zerg players like Roach Hydra up against Protoss, and especially when you're seeing these Phoenix early, it's interesting. Thought process behind this could very well be that, hey, a lot of Lings aren't dealt with particularly well by Phoenix because they don't have the energy to keep lifting. Overlord now going down. This is frustrating. As you see, the Phoenix just back out when their shields get low and are just like, oh, you were gonna try and kill me? No, that ain't a thing. Ooh, this is a pain. Queen comes out of position, and there are 4 Phoenix there, so that means it can die in a single lift. Great pick off, hurting the production of REcco, and a couple of drones are also now going to get picked off. As you can see, 0 resources lost by Monty, 650 by JonnyREcco. 2 evolution chambers haven't yet been seen. The one Zergling going to get a little scout that, okay, my opponent trying to take a third. Ling gets a kill on a probe, so that's a very worthwhile trade for him. A lot of speedlings though now coming up. This is preparing ultimately to try and shut out that third base. If you can take it down, it is great. It is amazing. It is fantastic because then a lot of what your opponent's trying to do gets shut down. Double Evo has now been seen. The macro hatchery also spotted. A couple more drones are going to die, but remember, a 4th is on its way out for REcco at the moment, and that's going to help him. The Spire is a cool choice, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But first, in come some speedlings. They don't have 1-1 yet, but will do any second. Kicking through now. Time Warp and Force Fields both being utilized. There's a good number of Zealots with +1 attack. But that means that with the 1-1 upgrades, the Lings still take 3 shots to be able to get killed. A couple of Lings trying to distract the Zealots, coming frantically over to try and defend this third base. But it's not going to be enough. Cancel comes down. And do the Speedlings now look to engage? There are a fair few Zealots, but with the upgrade advantage, they could very well take this out. More Lings coming through, and this is incredibly frustrating for Monty. Going to be losing a lot of these Zealots to pretty much nothing. Back at home, though, his wall-off is complete. A handful of Zealots out of position. They do move out the wall. This could allow the Zerglings to come through. They also wrap around completely. Photon Cannon on its way. More Zealots getting killed off, and still REcco has what is just over, I think it's about 15 Lings at a glance. More though coming in, a lot of probes now getting killed at this natural base, and these 1-1 Zerglings doing a devilish amount of damage. More coming through. REcco is just producing them non-stop with the 2-2 upgrades coming through as well. A lot of probes starting to fall, and this is a great counter-attack. So much damage being achieved, and while there is an absolute ton of Phoenix, they're going to get stumped by these Corruptors. The main Nexus melting before these Zerglings. And down it falls. It is a 1 base Protoss now who's down to just 27 workers. These Phoenix, they've got to do a lot. They're picking off Overlords like they're not even there. And there's just so many of them. It's frustrating. But they cannot win the game. They can kill all of these probes, but they can't kill the buildings. Nor are they going to fare too well against this many Corruptors. They're forced away. Workers killed tapped 31 to 24. Which is some great damage by Monty by no, shadow of a doubt. But REcco's just had such amazing counter pressure. It has been exceptionally good. +1 flyer weapons coming through. The Corruptors really are an amazing response to these Phoenix. Probably the best response. And once the Phoenix are gone, then REcco can just happily say, I need some Mutalisks. And there is nothing on the ground to contend with those. Nexus getting remade by Monty. Not giving in yet, and I love that. Keeping going in a best of 1 is a must, because you never know what kind of gifts your opponent will give you, and potentially they can throw away the game, despite being in a very advantageous position, such as that REcco's in. Third Nexus attempting to be re-established now by Monty. Rico, I believe, has seen that that's coming back down. Yep, he did. There was an overlord or something around there. And therefore, going to be able to just look to try and pick this off at some point. He's got so many Zerglings on the field. His infestation pit's on its way. That's going to allow the Hive, the 3-3, and the Ultralisks that are likely the end game goal for Rico to hit the field. Of course, the Phoenix, they can't do anything up against Ultras because Ultras are massive and Phoenix can't lift massive units. Pathogen Gland's also on its way. A couple of Infestors in there just going to be really helpful against both the Phoenix and also any ground army just to lock it in place. A few more Overlords getting killed, but for the most part, this Phoenix count is going to start dropping as there are so many Corruptors there. Only 8 now left compared to what was 15 plus we saw earlier. Rico, though, not attempting to take out this third base yet. He should be fully aware that he's a long way up in terms of just everything. Pretty much, he's nearly double his opponent's supply. His army supply is up, his upgrades are ahead, his tech is better, and he's got the better economic position. That's great. Everything is good for him. He's also getting the Hive down now, plus 2 air weapons, and a ton of Infestors that are just going to destroy these Phoenix if they dare clump up anywhere close to these Corruptors. Spore Crawler already starting to get some damage through. This is just chipping away at shields. The Phoenix need to be very cautious. Once the Infestors are there, bad times are only moments away. One fungal hits them, all of them are dead. Simple. So a couple of Lings still trying to get some damage down. Zealots, though, faring quite nicely. Bear in mind these are 2-2 Lings now, up against 1-0 Zealots, which aren't going to trade very well at all. It's going to be very difficult to try and deal with that. Meanwhile, Rico, he's just adding in a whole host of Mutalisks. With the Corruptors that he's already got on the field, with these Infestors, if he can get some nice kills on these Phoenix, which he's attempting to do now, chain fungling them, allowing the Corruptors to come in, 20 Mutas are not going to be threatened by what remains of this Mutaflock, which is this, just 4. Nice play coming out from Rico, and we're needing to see something big from Monty. The Archons are going to help, but his economy, while it is getting a bit more back to normal, it's in tatters compared to that of Rico. Rico is really in a position where he's going to have to throw the game to lose this. But Monty's going to be doing everything he can to try and stay in it and get some nice trades, because the longer the game goes on, the more likely it is Rico will make some critical mistakes. Corruptors, though, going to fare very well, and yeah, Monty, he sees the Mutalisks, GG's outright there, knows he can't contend with that. So Rico advances forward into those quarterfinals. Let's see how he gets on.